So I am stealing this video idea from the channel begins with something. That's the first word of the channel name. Can't remember the whole name. Anyway, you'll probably be able to find the original video based on what I'm talking about now. The feudalism of the tech oligarchy. When you look at the power and the influence of people with extraordinary amounts of money, you can't blame them. They are humans. Okay, let me create a story. Say, say you were given 10 billion in whatever currency you have. Actually, no, not whatever currency, because it could be worthless. Say you were given $10 billion, the global reserve, 10 billion USD. What would you do with the money? Because for me, I would just buy a bunch of shit first and foremost. Whatever. Cars, jet skis, holidays, experiences. Cool. But once you get bored, which you will, because that's how humans operate. That's how our brain chemistry has evolved. You'll start to want more, naturally. But what is more? You have everything, you can buy anything, you can have anything. So you start to look at things which are more intangible, more abstract. How can you further your cause in the world? And this is something I think, unless you have a very strong mental conscious, that it's extremely difficult not to do this, because we are human. Anyone off the street, replace Mark Zuckerberg with him. Of course, Mark Zuckerberg is smart. He created Facebook single-handedly. You can't put that past him. And it's an extraordinary success, one that he can't put that past him. But in this scenario, let's switch somebody out for him. Someone with maybe a different personality, probably the same level of intelligence, because he would have had to go to Harvard, wherever he went to. But let's switch out the personality for someone else. %99 of the time, people are going to go down the same route of eventually wanting power and influence. Because control, or perceived control, is something we need to make sense of our world somewhat. You can't be totally out of control or believe that you're totally out of control with everything, because in that case, there's no point taking your exam. There's no point even walking out your house, because if you're out of control with everything, then you can't make sense of the world. So if we're making sense of the world by having control, whatever your control is, control over your bedroom, you want it to look clean. You want specific things to be in specific places, right? You like to organize, you like to class things, maybe. I mean, that's basically the whole of biology. You want control. And there's nothing wrong with that. You are human. But if we have the capacity for more control, we can take this model and extrapolate it across countries, continents, even the world. Now, we live in an age where the world truly is controlled, broadly speaking, by one country, the United States. Whether that's for better, for worse, that's for you to decide. But you can't deny it is the preeminent power of the globe. Yes, China is a superpower. Russia even is kind of irrelevant in the modern day in terms of international capability. So we look at America. We see what they're doing. Their IP, their intellectual property, their ideas have infiltrated every corner of the globe, whether it's physical or intellectual, maybe software. Take Apple. Apple, I don't know the statistic, they will be in most countries. They're even in China. So China is America's not arch nemesis, but it's like they're it's like they know they're gonna break up, but they haven't broken up yet. So, but they're both moving towards it. They're putting it off. They're moving towards it. China has Apple in China. It allows it. But not only that, software. Instagram has changed the world. Social media has changed the world. But let's look at Instagram specifically. Instagram has had cataclysmic repercussions on how the world works, on how we speak to each other, how we live our lives, how people can find community, and how people can seemingly, from dire straits, ascend to superstardom. And we look at what Instagram has done. And I'll say it again, it has changed the world. It has been around 15, 20 years. The world is changing rapidly, and Instagram is a part of that. So we go further. We now agree that there's a certain sect in American society where the capital held by these very small number of individuals, these very few individuals, it supersedes the state. They revere capital higher than the preordained agreements under a publicly agreed constitution, or whatever public agreement a country's founded on. So we look at that and go, interesting. These billionaires have such a high degree of influence and power on politics, on industry, on business, on so many aspects of the preeminent power of the world, that we start to see an oligarchy forming. One based on a system that was actually founded in Normandy. It would have been, I can't remember, this is stealing from the video again, it would have been anywhere from 800 to 1200 AD, and is in Normandy. It's like that little northern area of France, western area of France, yeah. Well, it's where the Allies invaded for D-Day. So, yeah, so they're bringing back a system that was common practice in Europe for the best part of, I don't know, maybe 500, 600 years, because it worked so well. It started in Normandy and spread everywhere else because feudalism worked extremely well. It worked extremely well. And we look at how feudalism works. Feudalism works on the basis that a powerful person exchanges part of their wealth, their influence, or capital in return for loyalty. But in the modern day, it's different. Same system, different variables. Tech companies, the tech oligarchy, are giving resources, services, these extremely powerful tools, which, let's be real, some of us couldn't live without because we've become so dependent on them. They give us resources, they give us service, indispensable service, in return for cold hard cash, money, goes back to the top. And in turn, they get more powerful. And as this happens, the customer, the client, the person paying for the service doesn't actually own anything. They haven't received anything, which they have agency over, they can control. Instead, it is a rolling, normally monthly subscription that can be turned off at a month's notice because you stop paying. We see it everywhere. We see it with Netflix. You have to pay monthly to see their catalogue of shows. We see it with AI, where people can pay for an upgraded version, which is actually really good. It's so much better than the free version that actually you're going to justify to yourself that it's so useful that it's non-negotiable to not pay for it. Resource, money, oligarchy, feudalism. Do you understand where this is going? Where else do we see it? We see it with renting. We see organizations like BlackRock, Blackstone, Vanguard, these big private equity firms. I think they're private equity. I could be wrong here, could be saying some stuff which I don't know about, but they're buying these family homes. Some of them aren't even occupied. They're buying these family homes and people rent them. They can't buy them, but they rent them because it's a steady stream of income. That's great for investors, great for shareholders, great for the tech oligarchy. Not directly, obviously. It's for the property, real estate market. But what's unique about tech is because it's so few people. List the big tech companies. It's Microsoft in the US, Apple in the US, Tesla in the US, Meta in the US. All of these companies, once again, are based in the preeminent power of the world, where they've got to a point where their capital supersedes the state. So, that's it. We have returned somewhat to a system of feudalism. Instead of owning, you rent the right to use something. You don't have choice on whether to use it, how you want to. You have to conform, because the masses do. You have to conform to their policy. And as the wealth grows more and more, their influence grows. And that's it. That is the feudalism of the tech oligarchy. In the video I ripped this idea from, he proposes nationalizing, like when like a server site gets big enough. So but yeah, it's difficult because otherwise it's unoptimized because it's nationalized. I don't know, could be speaking up my arse here, but yeah, it's difficult, very difficult. Anyway, I just thought it was a really, really interesting subject. Yeah. Thank you for watching. And actually, a bit personal life, actually. I have an exam tomorrow morning. I had one yesterday. It's on macroeconomics. The one yesterday was microeconomics. And yeah, I'm gonna do like maybe 2 hours of revision before, but feeling alright. Yeah. Anyway, thanks for watching. Especially if you got this far. Not many people. It's probably single digits. Probably only you. But thank you for watching. Thank you for your patience. Thank you for, I don't know. I don't even know what I'm thanking you for anymore. I'll catch you in the next one. Thank you for watching.